Hello, my name is Tony Kempson, and I am a technology instructor here at the Ultimate Medical Academy. Today, I'm going to be presenting a tutorial on file management, navigating between windows, tabs, and applications using Microsoft. So let's get started. As I mentioned, what we're going to do today is we're going to show you a little bit about file management. We're going to navigate Windows. And when I mean Windows, I don't mean Windows as in Microsoft Windows. I mean browsers, open Windows in your browser on your computer. And we're going to navigate tabs and we're going to navigate applications all together and show you some different tricks and things that you can use when completing assignments and doing work to be more effective and efficient. And then we'll end with a brief summary. So take a look at this picture. And I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember seeing files like this piled up on a desk where you knew where everything was at, but it just looked like a big jumbled mess. Well, think about that in terms of electronics and computers. Well, there's a lot of files. You can use files. There's hundreds and thousands and sometimes even millions of files on a computer system, depending on the size of the drive and its memory. But it doesn't look like this. The computer allows us to organize our files in a much cleaner, much more organized manner, and where we can name them and get to them more efficiently. We can get to them quickly and know where they are spread across a wide area. So let's minimize this, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So what you're looking at now is my desktop. Now, I actually have multiple screens, so you don't see everything on my desktop, my main screen. This is one of the this is a secondary screen. And if you were to look at it now, look down here at the taskbar at the bottom. You'll see some icons and different software things. I want you to look at this file. See this file? And when you put your mouse on it, you'll be able to have a little small pop up that shows what you're looking at. So this is my file manager. So in my actual desktop, if you look at this organizer here on the left, these are folders, and then everything that's in the window to the right are what's in those folders. Now, this is actually my desktop. So my desktop that's on my main screen, this is everything that's on my desktop. So there's a lot. There's a lot there. Okay. So what I want to do really briefly is just give you an idea. Let me open this back up. Give you an idea and tell you what the difference between files and folders are. You see all these yellow folders here. These are folders. Now inside of their folders, there can be other folders as well as files. So folders hold multiple files. Okay. A file is one document or one spreadsheet or one type of document that only has one thing. You can have multiple files in a folder, but you can't have multiple folders in a file, if that makes sense. So if you can see these different files that I have, I'm going to click on the one file here. There's a lot of things in there, right? It's a lot, and even more folders are in there. But we'll just go back to the desktop to what we have. So I'm going to minimize this again. So now that you have a little bit of understanding what files are, what folders are, let me show you a few cool things that you can do from your desktop or anywhere in your file manager. Now I'm going to use my mouse and I'm going to right click. Now watch what happens when I right click. I'm up here on the screen. I'm going to right click. When I right click, it gives you some options. You can view large icons. Now, if I had icons on this particular screen, I can make them large, I can view them as medium, or I can view them as small. So all the icons that are on my main screen are medium, right? So you can also sort them by name, size, item type, and the date that they were modified. You can do all those things and you can sort them on your desktop. Now, these options are also available inside the manager, the file manager as well. And then there's some things down here. Notice that some options have an arrow. So if it has an arrow, you can go ahead and just mouse over it. You don't have to click. You just mouse and it'll, when I say mouse over it, just hover over the arrow with your mouse and you'll see what options are there. Same as here. Now look at new. I'm going to show you a couple of cool things that you can do. We're talking about file management. Now, you can create a new file. You can do it here on your desktop. You can do it pretty much anywhere. Anywhere that there's a folder or a space where you can store something, as long as you have enough memory on your computer, you can create things or create a folder. So I'm going to create a new folder. Now watch what happens. Now that I've moved my mouse, I'm going to left click the folder and it shows up over here. Now, what it's doing now is just it created a new folder. Now I can rename this folder or leave it as a new folder and I can add things to this folder. But we're just going to leave it as new folder for right now. We're going to put it out of the way. Now, if you saw something else, I right clicked again, coming back down to new shortcut. You can add shortcuts to any folder, program, or anything that you have on your computer. So let's create a shortcut. Now, what you do when you create a shortcut, it's going to give you a pop-up menu. It's going to ask you, what item would you like to create for your shortcut? Well, I happen to have an image that I want to put on my desktop. It's just going to be a shortcut to the image. The actual image is going to be in its original folder and file path. But I want to go and put this particular one up here. So let's go and we're going to go into the desktop. And I happen to know that it's called Hello. It's a little avatar of me saying hi. So now I browsed where I thought it was at. I found out where it was at, and I'm going to click continue. Do I want to give this a name? What name would you like to call it? I'm just going to leave it as hello, and I'm going to click finish. So what just happened was I was able to create a shortcut for a file that was on my desktop or that was in my computer, and I put it into on my desktop on this screen. So let's open it up just to see what it looks like. How about that? There that guy is. There he is. Hello. Okay. So that's how you create shortcuts. And you can put shortcuts anywhere. I just happen to put it on the desktop. You can do it in your file manager. You can have a new folder here. Watch this. I can click up here. I don't want to click. I don't put it there. I'm just going to put here. I can click up here, new folder. Watch what happens. New folder shows up right here. So you can put them anywhere. Look at the bar up here and you can see some different actions that you can do. Copy the path, which is a file path, and I'll show you what that means. File path is this. You see where it says OneDrive, Ultimate Medical Academy desktop? Well, this particular file is on the desktop in the folder Ultimate Medical Academy in the folder of OneDrive. As you can see it over here. Here's the parent folder of OneDrive, and notice these little carrots. If I click this carrot right here, it'll close everything up. See how now they're pointing this way to the right? Now let me click it again. It shows everything under all OneDrive Ultimate Medical Academy. So the desktop is under Ultimate Medical Academy. It's under OneDrive, Ultimate Medical Academy, and then desktop. That's the file path. That's how whenever you hear something called a file path, it's the file path. That's where your particular folder or file is located. Okay. So you can move and copy and delete, rename, all those things you can do by right clicking. You can actually do them here as well. So I'm going to minimize this. And we're going to go back to our PowerPoint, and I am going to start from the current slide. And again, here's our file management, right? So that's just a brief look at how you can manage files, folders, and what the difference is between those two. But let's go into navigating windows. And look at all of these pretty windows. They're pretty cool, huh? So again, it's not navigating windows as in Office Windows, Microsoft Office Windows. These are more windows that are in browsers, right? And I want to show you this because what's going to happen is navigating Windows, you're going to navigate things that are associated with Windows are also tabs, excuse me, and applications. Okay, so there's three things that we're going to be talking about here. I'm going to go back to navigating windows, but remember, we're going to talk about tabs as well, and we're going to talk about applications. So let's go ahead and close this. And what we'll do is minimize this. Now, I happen to have down here in my taskbar. This is your taskbar down here at the bottom. If you right click it, there's some things that you can do with it as well. I like to lock it, meaning you can't move it from here. Some people can move it over to the left or to the right. I like to lock it, and the task manager will allow you to do certain things. These are more advanced features, so I'm not going to get into those. I just wanted you to know that it's there. So I'm going to close that down, but look down here in your taskbar on the bottom. Starting on the far left, you have something called the start button. Now, I want you to pay attention to that because we're going to do something here shortly where this plays a role in how you can manage your screen, manage your windows as well as your tabs and your applications. Okay. There's a search bar. If you click on search, it allows you to search for certain things in there. Okay. So I'm going to click away from that. You have this just shows your view. You can change the view. This is your file manager right here that I had open earlier. So it just shows you can go through any file or folder. You can find it by clicking on that bar. Now here is these are what's called pin programs. If you look at it, this is Edge is nothing open. So with my mouse being on it, you won't see anything. This is Chrome. I have three things open in Chrome. I'm gonna talk about those in just a minute. This is a capture tool, screen capture tool called Snagit. This is a document that I have open. This is the PowerPoint program that we're using, and this is what we call Teams. This is what I'm actually using to make this video with. So what I want to show you is this. I am going to open up my windows. Now, notice that when I put my mouse over the Chrome and I clicked it, left clicked it, it made everything stay. Now I can choose between which one of these I want to open up. But if I just put my mouse over it, it shows. But the minute I move my mouse away, it goes away. Okay. So I am going to I'm going to put my mouse here and I'm going to open our website. Let me make it big. Notice that it was half the screen. I'm going to explain something to you about that in a minute. So this is the student portal where you can access the student portal for UMA, and this is our website. Now, this is a window, and I'm going to show you the difference between some of these things. Windows can have tabs, and you can have groups of tabs. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. This particular one just has the one window in it, but it has the option to create tabs, right? So I can create a tab up here by putting a new tab, and it'll go to whatever my default search engine is. In this case is Google. So you can have as many tabs by clicking on this plus button up here. You can have as many tabs as you want. I'm opening a bunch of tabs, right? Opening a lot of tabs, but there's nothing in those tabs until I create something. I might search for something or whatever. Now, what I'm going to do, let me go back down here. Notice that I have all these tabs open, but I have three windows, right? Let's look at this. This is something that we use. This particular one has two tabs on it. There's a window and there's another tab that has its own window. Now, what's the cool thing about the tabs is you can have as many as you want. I can open more up here. But what I can do, and this is our typing.com, I can right click this tab and then look at the options that it gives me. I can move the tab to the right or open a new tab to the right. Let me click on it, right click again. I can add a new group, which will be a new group of tabs. I can move tab to another window, right? So if I click on move tab to another window, and you'll see the option to make a new window, watch what happens. I click it and it makes its own window. You see, so there's so many different things you can do. Now I'm going to exit out of this one because I have a lot of them over here. You can also navigate between the tabs. Look right here. I can move a tab over. Maybe I want it over here. Maybe I want the healthcare one all the way to the here. You can move these around the way you want them. All you do is put the mouse, put your cursor over there or your mouse on it, hold down the left key, the left mouse key, and then move it. That's all you have to do. Now, some of you may uh, have been in the dilemma where you had to have a screen open for you and you only got one screen. So you have a screen open for your assignment that you're working on that has the instructions, and then you need to have a screen open so that you can actually work on your document. So you're not flipping back between this one and then flipping between that one. Well, Windows has a cool thing that you can use to do that. Let me show you. You remember when I told you about this little start button, the window down here, the little the little flag with the four little squares? Look down at your keyboard at the excuse me, at the bottom left. Excuse me, and you'll see that same little button. So what I want you to do is hold that button down. Now watch what happens. Hold that button down, and then on the opposite side of the keyboard, you have those four arrows. So I want you to hold the start button down on the keyboard, Windows button, and then hit the right arrow button going that way. So hit that one. Look what happened. So now it split the screen. So because I have my Word document open, I'm going to click it and look what it did. It split the screen between the two. So now I can have my instructions or whatever I'm working on over here, as well as I can have the document that I'm actually working on the other side. And to make it bigger, if I want to make it big so I can see the whole thing, you see the on your browser, you'll see up here at the top right or top left or top right of the browser. Let me make it big. You can minimize. If you mouse over it, you'll see what they say. You can minimize it. This is by the let me make it bigger again. The little minus sign is to minimize. The little arrow or the squares will maximize, and the X will exit out. You don't ever want to exit out unless you are finished with it. You've saved it and you're finished with it. You don't want to do that because then you got to open it back up, right? So let's minimize this, and here it is, the screen again. So let's just say I want the screen that's behind this one to be half. So all I would need to do is click on it. Now, now I have the whole screen, but the other one is still there. So all I need to do, hit the Windows key on my keyboard, right? And then hit the left arrow button. Hit it. Now my screen is split between the two again. You see how that works? So that's a lot of cool information and a lot of cool tools that you can use inside of Windows when you're doing file navigation, as well as navigating between your applications, windows, and tools. So let's go back to our PowerPoint, and we talked about navigating through Windows, right? We talked navigating through our tabs, and we talked about our applications. So, in summary, we learned the difference between what a file and a folder is, as well as demonstrated file management. And we also discussed how to navigate between those windows, those tabs, and applications, and also learn a few little tricks that you can use in there when you're doing your assignments. So, as always, it was a pleasure to conduct this tutorial for you. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you for your time, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day.